any trouble with Microsoft Internet Explorer sometimes? Ever? Man, it's the best browser, I think, for this room. For me, anyway. But it sure does make a lot of problems. What a crappy system. Yeah, don't use Internet Explorer unless you have to. Yeah, I use Chrome, but when I use Chrome, I get all the messages that people are leaving and coming in the room, and that is really distracting. Same thing with Firefox. Hey, I'll figure out how to use my computer someday. Thanks for being here in here tonight. My name is Carl Pearson again. What was I talking about? I went over to the Just Been Paid Alexa site is what I did, I believe. Incredible growth that we have. We had some of our biggest days in the last few days. It's funny, we can mess around with people's money, put it over there into JSS, and people don't even have their JSS positions yet. And they're still so happy that they found Just Been Paid. We really have a great system here. You're going to hear every once in a while somebody complaining. But overall, people are extremely happy. Nobody lost any money. It's just over there in JSS now. And Snoop didn't get back to me yet. It's not in there now either. I guess he's making himself scarce. We're going to be greatly increasing the support you get in cycling your JSS positions. Should be really great for a lot of people. I don't think you need all the assistance that we're going to give you, but for some people, I guess you want it, so we're going to give it to you. It doesn't cost that much. And I think we're going to let Snoop do that for us. He already said one day he's going to do it for me, and then Frederick said, no, we're not yet. And now Frederick said, yes, go ahead, Carl, you're right, let's do this. So we're going to provide you a lot more support in JSS. I'm pretty sure we're going to put up the to make it easier for you to cycle your JSS positions and to understand your JSS positions. We're going to work on the member area too, I'm sure, very soon. Make that a good high priority for everybody. I'm sure that's going to make a lot of people happy. Even though it's not really going to help you cycle your positions faster, it's going to help you understand the system better, I guess. You want to get your JSS positions to cycle fast, all you do is buy placements or placement upgrades for spots number 1 and 2. And then watch your matrices fill. And they'll fill pretty quickly. Just sort them by almost full matrices on top. And that's the quick down and dirty. This is how you cycle your matrices. The problem some people have, of course, is they're just in a big hurry to get some money every day if possible. And in JSS, you don't get money every day. You get money every few days. In JSS Tripler, you get money every day. If you like that, buy more and more JSS Tripler positions. If you're satisfied with getting money just every few days or every few weeks, buy lots of JSS positions and get them to cycle. That's the quick down and dirty on how to make money by spending money. And the other way to make money in our program is to find other people who do these things. Other people who do these weird things. Give money to somebody they don't know and expect to get more money back than they put in. That's what we do at Just Been Paid. If you can't do that kind of stuff, this might not be the program for you. We do kind of weird things. We have matrices. We pay 2% per day. No one else does that. Or, well, I guess lots of people do that, but they don't do it like we do. We have 20 people or more at Just Been Paid who are here to help you be successful in this program. That's an incredible amount of support. I don't think you get that in most other programs. 10 or 15 people working in this room where you can get your questions answered in 30 seconds or less. Just post your question in the room and you got your answer real quick. What's Snoop doing to me? I just said Snoop didn't get back to me, and he just got back to me. He says, yeah, okay, I'm ready. So Snoop's going to be training people, making more money too. He's going to be providing a very valuable service for Just Been Paid by teaching people how to cycle their JSS positions. Very important task that he's going to be doing for us. He already does it on his own time pretty much. He already gives his 100%. Now we're going to get him to help us to do that for everybody, maybe more one-on-one. You can tell him your username and he'll go into your member area and tell you which positions you should buy, for which positions you should buy placements and placement upgrades. How about that? Really, really cool. We're going to make it as good as we can. Remember, we try to do the most important things first, and then we do everything else. And in the past, we've been working on getting JSS back up and running, keeping JSS Tripler up and running, going to new servers in the Netherlands so that we can't be closed down by U.S. government authorities. Just did a restart. Taking care of really, really important things. And now maybe we have just a little bit of time to do some other things. I hope we do. That's not what Frederick always says. He never says, oh, now we have a little time to take a breather and do some other things that we've been wanting to do for a long time. He never says that. He says, Carl, the next thing we're going to do is A, and then we're going to do B, and then we're going to do C. When is A going to be done? When is B going to be done? And when is C going to be done? Every time I talk to him, he has big plans for Just Been Paid. He has huge plans that you can't comprehend, probably. I have trouble comprehending them myself, I think. So you are definitely at the right place. At Just Been Paid, you are definitely at the right place. You can make a lot of money with this program, and we're going to do it for many years to come. I used to say forever, but that sounds kind of crazy. So I say for many years to come. If Frederick Mann is not running this program, somebody else will, believe me. It's a big money maker for the program owner. It's a big money maker for all the members involved. We've got a great future planned, and we have lots of time to do it because we're indefinitely sustainable. We can make everybody lots of money indefinitely. Very important concept, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Just want to make sure we welcome the new members aboard. We had, let me see here, 3,700 new members sign up yesterday. The day before that, 4,300. The day before that, 3,400, 3,300, 4,100, 4,200, 4,200. A lot of people taking a look at Just Been Paid. Used to be around 1,200 or so every day, 1,300, 1,400. Now it's up to, on average, about 4,000 a day since we started the Pay It Forward system. The Pay It Forward system is a very powerful system. It gives us, the company, Just Been Paid, or Frederick Mann, or the owner of the company, whatever you want to call it, gives you $10 just for joining. Just like PayPal used to do 10 years ago, a little bit less, I guess. Just Been Paid is giving you $10 just for joining. Now you have to spend that money on JSS tripler positions, or at least you can buy your first JSS tripler position with that money. But that shows you how the system works. And get you on your way using the system correctly to make the most money possible. The Pay It Forward system has put us up to about, on average, over 4,000 new members per day signing up to check out what we're doing. Obviously, word is getting around that Just Been Paid is absolutely incredible. We have some big leaders on board who have, of course, brought all of their prospects and contacts aboard. Why do they do that? A big reason why some of the big people are on board, and I consider myself to be one of the bigger players, I guess. I'm the third promoter in the company still. I challenge you to take over my spot. And I only have about 74 referrals in the company. I only have 74 referrals who bought JSS tripler positions, and still I'm earning more than everybody else except 2 people as far as referral earnings goes. Now there are other people with hundreds of members, more than 200 members who are signed up for JSS tripler, but I'm still the third top earner because apparently I found more people that are really spending money, and they've found their own people who are spending money too. So in any case, some of the top promoters on the planet are involved in our system, and why wouldn't they be? They can make up to $500 per day per referral and more. I've been watching $5 payments and $2.50 payments flying by my screen all day long. Whenever we do a restart, people get positions in JSS. And every time one of those position cycles, I make $5 or $2.50, depending on whether they're my referral or their referrals, or my referral's referral. So every time I see that one of my referrals or my referrals received a position in JSS, because of this huge JSS tripler restart feed we have going on right now, we have over 600,000 positions going into JSS as a result of the restart. Every time one of those positions goes into JSS and it's your referral or your referral's referral, you can be happy because every time you get one of those emails that says one of these people got a JSS position, that's future money for you. It's either going to be $5 or $2.50 when each of these position cycles, and basically all positions cycle eventually in JSS. Eventually, every position is going to cycle in JSS. Eventually, the member that owns that position is going to wake up, buy placements and placement upgrades, do what they need to do to get that position to cycle. It's just a matter of time. So if you're getting messages that say your referrals and referrals are getting spots in JSS, you should be really happy. That is like money in the bank. That's really like money in the bank. So every time your referrals by position, you get money. Every time they reinvest their earnings, you get money, either $1 or 50 cents, whether it's your referral or your referral's referral, over the lifetime of the program. And these people that participate in the program tend to spend more and more money over time. They start out maybe spending $10 to buy one position or $100 to buy 10 positions, and then they see that it works, because it does, obviously, and then they buy 50 positions and 100 positions and 500 positions. They just keep right on going. So obviously some of the top leaders in the industry are coming over to check out what we're doing. We still kind of look like we are a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme, and that's something we're going to try to change as soon as we can. We still want to pay 2% per day because that's very powerful. That attracts people but we may present it just a little bit different so it doesn't look too risky. Remember, if you go to the Attorney General's office and say, hey, what do you take a look at Just Been Paid for me, will you please? They're going to tell you the same thing every time. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So that's one of the things we have to overcome. Remember, the first part of our system is much like a Ponzi scheme. It pays 2% per day. Every day, that's 60% per month. You cannot do that forever. Eventually, those kind of programs close. They go bankrupt, they stop working, they close their websites, or they even get closed by the government before they close themselves. But Just Been Paid is different. Very important to realize Just Been Paid is different. We have a plan for the future. What we do is we take those liabilities that are building up, where we have to pay 2% per day to thousands or tens of thousands of people, and eventually it's going to be hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people, and we transform those liabilities into assets by giving them JSS positions. And every time we do that, it makes lots of commotion. Some people get upset because they don't understand what's going on. But as time goes on, more and more people will understand that this system really is indefinitely sustainable. More and more people will come join us, spend their money, change their lives by making a lot of money. Believe me, my life's changed. Tonight I went out and bought, there's a snowstorm coming tomorrow. I guess it's only going to be 5 to 8 inches. I thought it was going to be 6 to 10 or even more, but it might change. And I got a little concerned because we have a lot of shoveling to do whenever a storm comes, because I got 28, I always lose count, 26, 28 to 30 horses. So you have to do a lot of shoveling. I went out tonight and I bought my two boys, one's 13, one's 15 years old. I bought them each a new snowblower. One of the best snowblowers they had on the floor. I wanted my boys to have a nice, easy time doing their farm chores. It's kind of fun. It gave me a nice feeling to be able to help my boys out like that. I'm sure it gave them a good feeling too, to know that their back's not going to hurt at the end of the day while I'm sitting in here talking to 400 or 500 people in the conference room. Maybe I was just feeling guilty. But it's really nice to be able to learn how to promote your website. Actually, there's two ways to do it. Method number one, follow the easy steps. Method number two, follow the easy steps. But overall, follow the easy steps. Use method number one, buy JSS triplet positions, as many as you can afford. You start getting your 2% earnings within 24 hours. You can make an unlimited amount of money pretty much, because you can spend up to $250,000 on JSS triplet positions. Or you find other people who do the same thing. Those are the two ways. Buy positions yourself or find other people who buy the positions. That's how you can change your life. That's how you can make a lot of money. And that's what people have been doing for almost a year now. I'll start saying almost a year because it's going to be, very soon it's going to be 11 months away. It's almost 11 months now that JSS Tripler has been running. It started on February 17th last year. You can change your life by following the easy steps. You can make a considerable amount of money by following the easy steps, participating in Just Been Paid. The word's getting around. We're growing like crazy for the right reasons, not because everybody has to get in first, because if they don't get in quickly, they're going to lose their money, but because people are understanding that this program really is indefinitely sustainable, and they want to get in on the action, obviously. And the big leaders, they're coming aboard too. And there will be more coming aboard, like I say, once we get the perceptions taken away. We have some perception problem. We have some credibility problems because we're looking too much like a program that's not indefinitely sustainable. So let's get that fixed, and we'll be getting that fixed, I'm sure, quite soon. We're also going to be adding other new systems, other ways for you to make money in our system. This is a money generating system. It's 50 times or 100 times better than a bank. And all we're doing is selling advertising and success training. Somebody tells you we don't have a product, we sure do. Just not released yet. Okay, bad joke. What you get when you buy your positions in JSS or in JSS Tripler are advertising credits. Now you can't spend those advertising credits yet because we still don't have our advertising site set up. When we do get our advertising set up, you'll be able to spend all your credits. And there will be a lot of other people looking at your advertising too, or your family photos, whatever you want to put on our site. But until that time, please just be patient. The product's being worked on, but it's still in a conceptual matter, I guess. And actually, Frederick has some really big plans for that. It's not just going to be a surfing website, it's going to be something different. You'll be pleasantly surprised to see what we're doing. In fact, I am pleasantly surprised almost every time I talk to Frederick. It's amazing what we have planned for the next few months and years in this program. So follow the simple steps, whatever you can do. Put away your list of excuses. Extremely important. Your list of excuses is holding you back. Every time you see something that just been paid that you don't like, or that you hear that you don't like, and it makes you take 2 steps back and say, whoa, what's going on here? I don't know if I like this. That's keeping you back from success. Now, I understand that people are wary about programs like Just Been Paid, but I've explained to you it's not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a quick money, make quick money, get out, and hope you didn't lose your money scheme. It's a program that you can invite your friends and family to, invite your best internet contacts to join, because you know they're not going to lose any money. It's extremely important that they're not going to lose any money. Really, really a fantastic system. But you just have to put away your list of excuses, the things that are holding you back, and follow the easy steps. Back in 2002, I got to tell my quick story. I received my first email December 22nd, something like that, 2002, and it said, "Carl, make money on the internet." I had never received an email like that ever before in my life, and I clicked on the link, and I signed up, and I spent $20, and I said, I guess I can do this. I'm going to try this. This looks easy. I'm going to do it. And I didn't have any list of excuses. I didn't know anything about making money on the internet, about MLM, multi-level marketing. I had no idea what that was. And I just followed the easy steps. I logged into my member area. When I logged in, it told me, if you want to make money with this program, you have to tell other people, and they have to spend $20 also. And I think first I was a little bit shocked because I didn't really understand, could I do that? Is that possible? It sounds like it might be a little risky. And I just went ahead and advertised my website at the places that they recommended. And all of a sudden people started signing up at my website. Every day I was getting sign-ups, and almost every day I was getting people to spend $20 to join my program. I just followed the steps to success. In this particular program, the only way to success was to advertise your affiliate website. And I did that, and I started making money, and ever since then I've been hooked. Ever since then I've been working full-time on the internet. I never went back to my job. I stayed home. I think I was laid off, but in any case, I kept right on working at home, and since then I've always made my money at home, with very few exceptions. The same thing's going to happen to you, but the good thing about your situation is you found the right program. I didn't have the right program. I spent $20, and then I made $20, or actually the people I found made $20. They had to spend $20 too, but I think I only made $2 every time they signed up for something. So it was ridiculous. I was making a ridiculous amount of money. But I saw my success. I started teaching other people how to advertise their websites, because I knew everybody was complaining. I can't get any results. Nobody signs up at my website. The main reason that people don't have success advertising their website, just on a side note here, is because they don't do anything. They don't do the right things. They do the wrong things all day long, and then they complain about it. Somebody tells them how to do it right, and they still do the wrong things all day long. If you do the right things, you will get people to sign up at your website, and you will make money. And in this case, nowadays, today, where you are right now, you are in the right program. You can make up to $500 per day per referral. The program I joined back in 2002, the first one I joined, you could make an infinitely little amount of money. And this, in Just Been Paid, you can make an infinitely great amount of money. Okay, that's my story of the beginning, but it's really true. I didn't have a list of excuses. I didn't get burned on the internet. I didn't lose any money on the internet. For some reason, I thought I could do everything, and I could. All I had to do was just advertise my website. At Just Been Paid, there are simple steps also. You just have to buy JSS tripler positions, or find other people who buy JSS tripler positions. As you get more advanced, you'll find that you might want to also buy JSS positions directly and encourage your referrals to do the same. That's what I do. It's just a little more complicated, and people have to be a little more patient with JSS. But if you follow the simple steps, you can change your life. You really, really can. So welcome to Just Been Paid. That's what I do first in the conference calls. Help some people get off on the right foot. Some people don't believe me, of course. That's okay. If I can get one person to believe me and one person's light bulb to go on every day, that's a total success as far as I'm concerned. If it's 5 or 10 people, that will be better. But if I can change the life of one person, my 1 or 2 hours in this room was absolutely worth it. Thanks for being in here tonight, and you are at the right place. You found the right business opportunity. First of all, you can make a lot of money. And second of all, we're going to be doing this for many years to come. Again, we have all this help in this room. You can get your questions answered here quickly. If you cannot get your questions answered in this room, they will send you to the help desk. We also have 7 people working full-time in the help desk. It's a lot of help. And we're going to be hiring more people. I've got lots of resumes in my inbox. Please bear with me if you've sent me your resume. Yes, it's being looked at. Or no, it's not being looked at yet, but we will be looking at it. We've got so much planned, and we're going to need help. Keep in mind, though, you might want to consider not working for us, because if you're going to work for us, you're going to be helping other people to be successful, and you might not have time to be successful yourself. That's what I do. I help a lot of people be successful, but I don't have much time to promote my website anymore like I used to. I could probably make 5 times what I'm making now if I just spent my time advertising my website instead of working for Frederick Mann and helping everybody else be successful. But that's what I do. It's important for some people to step up to the plate and help everybody else. If we didn't have dedicated people in the help desk and here in this room, I don't know how a lot of people would be successful. We need to help people be successful. So welcome to Adjustment Bay. We have lots of people helping you. The other people that we have working here to help you, other than our programmers, which make it possible for you to even make money, because we need a lot of automation to keep the system running. We have the marketing team, the marketing training team, in the marketing training room. We also have our expert guest speakers that come and teach you how to be successful advertising your website. We have about 7 videos. As far as I know, the count is still at 7 videos per week. Excuse me, 7 webinars per week. Live webinars where you can get your questions answered, where some expert teaches you how to do some kind of advertising more effectively on the internet. Remember, there are lots of ways to advertise your website. You can start out just by writing tripler.biz on a business card or on a piece of paper. You don't have any paper around, use a piece of toilet paper and give that to your friend with your username on it, and if they sign up at your website, there you go. Every dollar they spend, you make 10% on. Everybody that they find who spends money, you make 5% on everything they spend. You can make so much money in this program. There are lots of ways to advertise your website. Choose the method that you like, the one you feel comfortable with, and use that one. All methods somehow work. Some work a little bit better than others probably. But for example, if you're good at talking on the phone, if you're good at talking on the telephone, use the telephone. It's a great way. It's the way I've signed up for most of the programs I've ever joined. Somebody called me on the phone. But if you're good at Facebook and you're not good at talking on the phone, don't work on the phone if you don't know how to use the telephone to get people to sign up. Use Facebook if that's your expertise in Facebook, or if you know how to use safe lists. My goodness, some people don't like safe lists. Some people don't know how to use safe lists properly. If you know how to use safe lists, use safe lists. If you know how to use traffic exchanges, use traffic exchange. But you got to use the right traffic exchanges, right? The ones that work. You have to use the right headlines, the right websites, use ad tracking codes. You have to use the techniques that you like to use. And we teach some of those techniques, and as time goes on, I'm sure we'll be teaching more techniques. Choose the techniques that you like to use and introduce people to the program that way. So we even have a learning center, a marketing center, marketing training center that will teach you how to advertise your website for free. So welcome to Just Been Paid. You're at the right place. You can make a lot of money. We give you lots of support, and you can do it forever. And I think I already said this, but let me just go over one more thing just briefly. If you see things on our website that you think are wrong, out of date, videos you don't like, if you come into the conference room and there's some strange person giving a presentation and you don't think he knows what he's talking about, we know that these things are a problem. We'll fix them eventually. We have the money to do it. But time is a little bit of a problem. We're growing extremely quickly. We have to do first things first. The things that make the most difference in the success of the program, we do first. The things that make most of the members happy, we do those first. And then, later on, when we get the first things done first, then we'll do all these other things, the things that are hurting your ears and your eyes. The things you don't understand we'll make better and easier to understand. We'll do that. But keep in mind, the most important things we can do are to make you lots of money. And the system we do have in place right now will make you a lot of money if you do what you need to do, if you follow the steps. So don't do what most people do. They do the wrong things. That's why they don't make any money, because they do the wrong things or they don't do anything at all. Do the right things. Do the things that make you money. And in this program, I told you what they were. And then you'll be all set. And you can really change your life with this program. Like I've changed mine, like other people in this room have also changed theirs. You can really suddenly make a lot of money week after week after week. And we're going to be doing this forever. Because we're going to be around forever, you can do this forever. Somebody will be running this program and keeping lots and lots of people making lots of money. Okay, let me just talk briefly about what we're doing today, tomorrow, next week, and then I'll open up the room to questions. So you can already answer. You can already ask your questions. The moderators, if they know the answers to your questions, they'll answer them on the spot. The moderators in this room are pretty smart. They've answered many questions over the last few months, the same questions over and over. They really know a lot about this program. Maybe a little bit less than I do. I should know everything about this program. So if you have a question for me, let me know. A moderator will post it in the room and I'll answer it. But in about 5 minutes. Because I still want to go over the current events. The latest thing we're doing right now, if you haven't noticed, you're either getting your new JSS positions for free. We give you JSS positions for free because of your participation in JSS Tripler. In this case, you're getting them for free because we converted JSS Tripler positions you had into JSS positions. We did that across the board for everybody using the same formula. Other than the people who joined the program, who joined JSS Tripler on December 15th or after. They do not get affected by the restart. But everybody else gets affected by the restart using the same formula. And the formula we use gives you a little bit less cash, a little bit a few less JSS positions, lets you keep more of your JSS Tripler positions if you haven't made much money in the system so far since you participated back starting in February 2010. February 2011, right? Excuse me. And if you've made more money since February 2011 in JSS Tripler, then generally you get more JSS Tripler positions converted when we do a restart. But the same formula was used for everybody. That's why I know if you look at your just been paid member area and you see you have more positions converted or less positions converted as your friend, neighbor, or whatever, there's probably a reason for it. But we've just recently done a restart. I guess it's and I was just talking about the JSS Tripler restart feed. 2 or 3 days after we did the restart, and maybe next time we'll do it even faster. But just since yesterday or the day before, we started putting in about 600,000 free positions into JSS. And they're being put in about at a rate of about 1 position every 2 seconds. We have to do it a little bit slow so that the existing system doesn't get put to his knees. For example, if you buy a JSS position directly, that gets preferential treatment. If the JSS tripler feed that we run every day automatically, when that starts, it gets preferential treatment over the JSS tripler restart feed. So for some of you, it's going to take more than a week probably for you to get all of your JSS positions that you're entitled to. Now for some of you, you've been waiting for 10 years to make money on the internet. That's not a big issue for you. For other people, this might be your first restart and you've never spent money on the internet before. Be happy, be really happy that you didn't lose your money, because if you would have joined another program that was paying 2% per day and it didn't have a restart feature, or it didn't have an indefinitely sustainable concept, your money would be gone and there wouldn't be a conference call because nobody would have anything good to talk about. Be happy that you're just been paid and not somewhere else, because everywhere else over the past 10 or 15 years on the internet, when the money's gone, when the money runs out, so they can't pay the 2% per day on time, they just close their doors and they're done with. Very important concept. I already talked about this a little bit. It's the indefinitely sustainable concept. Be happy that you're just been paid and not somewhere else. So it's going to take a week or two for everybody to get all of their JSS positions. The JSS positions that are put into that you're getting are put in completely randomly. In the worst case scenario, you might be the last person to get your position. Out of 600-something thousand positions, you might be the last person to get their positions. You might have to wait a whole 1.5 or 2 weeks. You might get one position today or 3 positions today, and then 30 positions tomorrow, and then no positions the next day, and then 50 positions the next day. It's completely random, which makes it absolutely fair. Last time we put the oldest members in first, all their positions in first, and then everybody else after them. That probably wasn't quite too fair. So we tried to do a little bit more fair this time. But in the end, it's still going to take, as far as I know right now, 1.5 to 2 weeks. Because we don't want to interrupt the daily routine. At Just Been Paid, the daily routine is what? For all acts within a few minutes or a few hours, you get your JSS placements filled within 11 days or so. That's fine. That if I could just click a button on my computer here. Let me do that. So I'm curious what it is too. There is what we call the time it takes for premium placements to be filled. Let's see if that time has gone up some by now. Let's just see if it went up. It probably hasn't gone up too much yet. I don't think it has. Hold on. The time it takes for premium placements to be filled, I'll have it in a second on the screen here, probably is a little more than 11 days now, but probably not too much. Now once we get the 600,000 positions all placed in the system, it might increase some. That would be my guess, my best guess. A lot of times that's all we can do is guess. The last time a restart happened, it took 6 months the first time for a restart to happen. The second time it only took 4 or 5 months. All we can do is estimate. We estimated that it would take 6 to 18 months. It took only 4 months or so. So bear with us. All we can do is guess. But it's not our first day on the internet, so we can guess pretty good. Yeah, I guess I'm right. It takes about 11 days now, still takes 11 days to fill premium placements. That has not changed. So if you buy a premium placement for any spot in your matrix, it's going to take about 11 days. Maybe by the time you get your spot in your matrix, it might take 12 days or 13 days. But still, that's very, very fast. You can fill any spot in your matrix in JSS in about 11 days right now. Doesn't mean you can fill all 6 spots in 11 days. That's pretty much impossible. But any particular spot, if you buy a placement and a premium upgrade for it, it's going to fill in 11 days. That gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of power. You can actually fill your matrix by doing the simple steps, and that is to buy placements and premium upgrades. And you can fill your matrix, the spots that you want to fill, whenever you want to. Now, if you buy too many placements and placement upgrades, yes, then you don't really make a profit. So the best thing to do is be nice and patient. And again, I guess it looks like Snoop's here. He calls himself Snoop Doggy Dog. What's his real name? Anybody know Snoop's real name? Here's some trivia tonight. I keep forgetting, actually. It's not a secret, but he likes to call himself Snoop, and everybody knows him that way. He'll be giving us some great training, and it's going to help a lot of people get their JSS positions to cycle. So, JSS position cycling and training on that. Pay it forward system we just implemented. It's going absolutely fantastic. Dante, there it is, Mark. Thanks. I like that name, but he doesn't like it. I don't know. Okay, forget it. Sounds like a girl's name, doesn't it? Okay. Fantastic system you're at here, Just Been Paid. Welcome to Just Been Paid. I told you a little about the current events. The other huge thing we're going to be doing, bringing out some new money-making programs that are all going to help you make more money faster from all of your referrals, just by spending your own money, what have you. Look for those coming down the road soon. We're also going to be improving our user experience so that when your referrals sign up or when you sign up, you don't get lost when you log into the member area. Actually, we improved it just a little bit. If you didn't notice, now we have some of the latest conference calls posted right on the front page from Frederick and myself to introduce the new people to how we do business, what's going on, what are we doing. And then we show you the strengths of the program, what makes us better. Right on the same page. You can see it without getting lost there. We're going to do some other things too that are really going to help us lead people to where they need to go and get them to do what they need to do to be successful in this program. Okay, so we are really going to be doing a lot. That's the 5 minutes I was talking about. Now let's open up the room to, well, let me start answering questions. If you have questions you'd like me to answer, make sure a moderator posts them in the room for you. Any question is legal here. You can answer. I'll answer any question you have. I know the answers to all the questions other than very few exceptions. Sometimes I can't predict the future, and sometimes I can't tell you all the company secrets, but otherwise I'll answer any questions that you have. We want you to be successful in this program. This is where you get your questions answered. Feel free to stop by here anytime. You really can get your questions answered in this room within a few seconds. As long as they're not busy explaining something else, post your question. We'll get your answer real quick. But sometimes we're going to have to send you to the help desk. where they can log into your account and help you personally. Okay, so bear with us. Sometimes you're going to have to do that, but otherwise this is the best place to get your questions answered. You can also hang around in here for hours and learn from the questions of other people, obviously. Feel free to come back as often as you want to listen to the daily conference calls. Sometimes I come in here in the mornings, 9 o'clock Eastern, 4 days a week, and sometimes at 10 o'clock in the evenings Eastern, 3 days a week. Pick and choose when you want to come in and just see what's going on. Deb has the question. The first question. JC has the question. Someone said to me, this sounds like a Ponzi scheme. How should I respond? You didn't respond the right way? Yeah, that's you have to get good at answering that question. Let's see if I can answer it good today. Yes, it does look like a Ponzi scheme. That's a good question. That's a good answer. That will make them fall off their seat. Then they're going to say, what are you doing then? How can you put your money into a Ponzi scheme? Well, it's not a Ponzi scheme. The first part of it looks very much like one. And in fact, if we just opened up JSS Tripler and didn't do anything else except pay people 2% per day, 60% per month, and we just did that, and that's all we ever did, it would be a Ponzi scheme. So if you get people to say, well, this looks like a Ponzi scheme, yes, it does, because that's how we get people interested in the program. We go out on a limb and we say, we're going to pay you 2% per day, it doesn't matter what happens. And actually we do, unless you get involved in the restart, and when you're involved in the restart, then it gets a little bit more complicated, but that's what we do. We pay 2% per day. But again, we have a restart feature which converts the JSS tripler positions into JSS positions, and the JSS system is absolutely not a Ponzi scheme. It's just a 2x2 matrix, and you can influence when your 2x2 matrix cycles by doing particular things, buying placements and placement upgrades, or promoting your website. In other 2x2 matrices, I've seen many of them, it is sort of the 2x2 matrix does act like a Ponzi scheme because everybody just goes under everybody else and you just build a huge pyramid, quote unquote, and that's sort of a Ponzi scheme too. Our 2x2 matrix system is by far way away from has no Ponzi scheme characteristics at all. But that's what does it. We have the JSS tripler system, which feeds into the JSS system. The combination of those two is indefinitely sustainable. We're absolutely not a Ponzi scheme. That's a good answer, right? Hope that helps you out there. I know a lot of people have this kind of a situation. Now, of course, remember what's going to happen next. Your prospect that you're talking to is still not going to believe you. Don't expect them to believe you. Why should they believe you? You're asking them to give your money to somebody on the internet that they don't know. His name is Frederick Mann. He's the owner of the program. He's the mastermind here behind this whole thing. That's kind of weird. So a lot of people can't do this. A lot of people cannot do this. Don't feel bad if your friends and family can't do it. And if this big prospect that you're talking to that said he's going to bring in a huge downline, don't feel bad that they can't do it. Maybe they'll come in later and do it. Probably the best thing you can do, though, is at least get them to sign up at your website so that you've got them sign up under you. And then you have very good chances in the future that they will eventually sign up and participate and bring in all of their prospects and referrals, and you make money from all these people. Hope I answered your question okay there. I know it's a complicated question, but I've answered it a few times, and I feel very comfortable in answering it at this point. Jazz has the next question. Why is a matrix that is full doesn't cycle and pay? There are very few exceptions. I've only heard probably about this happening 2 or 3 times. If that's happened to you, then you can contact the help desk and we'll pay you your $60 rebate in advance, even though your matrix is never going to cycle probably. But your matrix won't cycle until you have 6 email addresses Yeah, 6 contact names and email addresses in your matrix. If it says placement bought or premium or expedited or placement or something like that, that means you bought a placement. But the name there, it says still empty. If it says empty anywhere, you haven't bought a placement yet. So you can't, your matrix will never cycle until you do buy a placement and upgrade the placement to premium probably. Or your upline or your downline has to do that. Question from TY. Carl, can you tell Frederick that his updates has his big booster 003 link and I have lost some of my referrals? Do you think you have? Why would anybody want to sign up under Frederick? In fact, why would anybody want to sign up under me? To sign up under me or sign up under Frederick is the worst thing you could do because we don't have any time at all to take care of our referrals. Don't sign up under Frederick. Don't sign up under Carl Pearson. We are the busiest people on the internet, and we certainly don't have time to take care of you. The good thing about it is, though, it doesn't matter who you sign up under because you don't need help from your sponsor. In fact, if you're using that as an excuse not to get involved, you're really missing out. That's a bad excuse because that's not a good excuse at all. Did I just say that? That's redundant. That's a dumb excuse because you don't need your sponsor to be extremely successful in this program. We have over 20 people that are here to help you. So you don't care which sponsor you sign up under. And as I said, if you really think, if you want to look for a friend or somebody to talk to or somebody that's going to help you be successful, Frederick's not going to help you. Carl's not going to help you. We don't have time to do anything except eat breakfast sometimes, do the conference calls, take care of answering emails, managing staff, take care of payments, withdrawals, come up with new systems, take care of emergencies. That's all we do all day long. We don't have time to take care of our own referrals. I think Frederick does it with some of his, but most of them he just sends to the help desk. That's what I do too. If you send me an email, I'm going to forward it to the help desk and they'll give you the answer. If you call me on my cell phone number is all over the internet, I'm not going to answer you. I answered one call in the last 3 months. If that's you, you should be very privileged. You should feel very privileged. Don't sign up under Frederick. Don't sign up under me. If you think you've lost referrals, I think you might be wrong. I don't think somebody else. They're gonna. But remember too, if you, it's a numbers game. Don't whine over one referral that you lost. Go find some more. Don't waste your time taking. Spend all of your time looking for new people, and let the system convert them for you. Let the system work. Let them see how easy the system is. We give them $10 to spend from day one. As soon as they log in, they'll see they have $10, and all they got to do is click and spend it. Hope I answered your question okay. In the future, yes, we may change those links in the emails to not Frederick's link, but your own sponsor's link. We should do that, shouldn't we? It's a good idea. We'll do that. I don't know when it's going to be. Remember that some of the things we do may not make complete sense, but we're doing the best we can. Robert has the next question. I have JSS positions from the restart now. Good. Should I buy placements now? Yes. If you want to make the money the quickest in that JSS position that you receive, buy a placement now. Buy 2 placements, one for one for spot 1 and one for spot number 2, and then upgrade those 2 spots to premium by spending another $10, $5 a piece. So you need to spend $20 for every JSS position that you receive. That will get you on your way to cycling those positions the quickest. You'll save a lot of time by doing that. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait a whole 30 days before we give you a loan to buy those placements for those spots number 1 and 2. Okay. Now a lot of people are saying, oh, I have 200 JSS matrices that I just received, and I don't want to go through and buy 200 times 2. I don't want to spend $400 on placements. Yeah, 200 positions times $20 a position. That's $400 that you'd have to spend on placements so that you can get your, what do you make? You spend $400 and you get back $1,200. You have 200 positions, you're going to get back $1,200. Shouldn't you spend $400 to get back $1,200? I think so. Some people don't want to do that, but it's up to you. You can theoretically do absolutely nothing and you'll still get your JSS position to cycle. But why would you do that? It could take a lot longer for your matrix to cycle. It's better to at least spend that first $20 on the spots number 1 and 2, placements and placement upgrades, and after that, then sort your matrices by almost full matrices on top, and see which matrices you just have to spend another $5 or $10 to get to cycle. Tam has the next question. Will the tripler feed start filling existing matrices like the last restart feed? Yes, it does. Only a small percentage, though. Sid has the next question. I have 3 times as many triplers expiring as what I get paid daily. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that already. I'm not a mathematical person, although I was top in my class. In high school, I think I lost a lot of it. I'm not good at... okay, good. I put in my retirement money and have no more. How can I get paid from the restart matrices? I'm sunk. Well, first of all, you don't put in all your money into JSS Tripler. You always leave a little bit out, because what happens if something does happen to Just Been Paid? You never know. It's not a government. It'll be a little bit rainy here. The restart has started, and you need to buy placements and placement upgrades. That's how you get your JSS matrices to cycle. What you can do maybe is take your earnings from your JSS Tripler positions that are expiring, because you still have some that are expiring, right? Use that money to buy placements and placement upgrades for over in JSS. Maybe that's what you need to do. Monique asked the next question. Are withdrawals still manual or back to automatic? Liberty Reserve are still done manually. I don't know why that's an important question. There's a lot of questions you don't need to know the answer to. How we do things internally, we do the best we can. Almost everything's automated. It has to be, because we're taking care of hundreds of thousands of transactions per day. Whether it's buying placements, funding your accounts, withdrawals, buying positions, it's hundreds of thousands of transactions every day, and the system does it fully automatically with very, very few exceptions. T-Tan has the next question. Carl, how long is this going to be indefinitely sustainable if the payouts are getting ridiculously high? Do you think the payouts are getting ridiculously high? Remember, the people that are earning the most money in the company, if they stop promoting their websites, then their earnings are probably going to go down. If they stop buying positions, their earnings are going to go down. Remember, if we have high payouts, it means only that people's positions are expiring, other than the promoters. The promoters are getting paid more and more because they have more referrals buying more and more positions. But if more and more people are buying positions, that means everything's doing good, right? I think people don't quite understand what's going on, and that's part of my reason for being here tonight too. The system grows and grows and grows, and we want it to do that. We want more and more people to buy more and more positions in JSS Tripler and JSS. But eventually the system always has to restart, because you cannot possibly pay out 2% per day. And we can use all the tricks we can to prolong a restart and to increase the time between restarts, but eventually we're always going to lose. Restarts have to happen. We need to pay out lots of money to keep people motivated, including our promoters. So I'm not sure if you have a better solution than what we're already doing there. That was the answer to Tita Tan's question. Landon asks, if premiums are not filling the restart matrices, then what will? If premiums are not filling the restart matrices, after you get your matrices from the restart, then you buy premium placements. Yes. I think what you're trying to say is, are the spots that are coming over to JSS right now from the JSS Triple restart, if they're not filling premium placements, that's what you're talking about, right? All of the JSS Tripler daily feeds, those are filling placements. It's still taking only 11 days to fill your placements, to fill your premium placements. So it's not true. They are filling, but they're not filling from the restart JSS positions. They're filling from the daily Tripler feed JSS positions. John 44 asked the next question. Carl, I have some JSS matrices from the restart, but I don't quite understand what I'm supposed to do to fill those, or do I just wait? Buy placements in spots number 1 and 2 in each of your matrices, and then upgrade those placements to premium. Read the placement FAQ. That will tell you all about it too. That's how you get your JSS positions to cycle. There are other ways, but that's the main, the easiest way, and the most reliable way too. Tank has the next question. By not upgrading, what can I lose? If you don't upgrade, you just don't get your free JSS positions from the daily tripler feed. You don't get your JSS positions when 4 of your JSS tripler positions expire. That's what you don't get. That's the only thing you lose. You still get commissions from your referral matrices cycling. You still can buy placements and placement upgrades. Okay. William asks the next question. Do I have to surf in order to withdraw money from JSS Tripler? Not at this point. We think that might be the case in the future, but not at this point. And it's almost been a whole year now, and you have not had to surf yet. So we'll see when we turn on the surfing module whether or not, I don't know how long it's going to take for us to turn that on. Colette asks the next question. Carl, if referrals don't want to upgrade to level 1, what will restart affect their tripler positions or JSS positions from this feed? If referrals don't want to upgrade to level 1. Well, they don't need to upgrade to level 1 unless they have expiring positions in JSS tripler. That's the #1 reason they need to upgrade. If they don't have any positions expiring, they don't need to upgrade yet. In fact, for the first 75 days, you really don't need to upgrade in Just Been Paid. There's no reason to, unless you want to get the success training. That's actually a good reason, but most people don't think that probably. When you upgrade to level 1, you get the Big Success Breakthrough Training course, written by Frederick Mann. Extremely powerful. You can change your life if you can apply the concepts in that training. Okay. Someone asked, Carl, how long is it going to be indefinitely sustainable if the payouts are getting ridiculously high? Okay, I already answered that one. Sorry about that. Leo. And ask the next question. What is the conversion percent from our restart matrices? I can't tell you. I can't tell you. It's not very many. It's not very much. Remember, the reason that we give you restart matrices is because we don't have the money to pay the 2% payouts. The 2% daily payouts got way too high. Way too high, and Frederick said, nope, they've gotten too high for me. I don't like it anymore. I'm worried that something could go wrong. We want to make sure the program stays indefinitely sustainable and doesn't go bankrupt overnight. So we're going to do a restart, Carl. And he calls me on the phone and says, Carl, we're going to do a restart today. And I say, okay, Frederick, I knew it was coming, but okay, thank you. I'll take care of it. And we do a restart. So when we do a restart, we don't obviously give you lots of cycling JSS positions, because what's the difference if you cycle positions in JSS tripler and make 2% earnings, or if you cycle positions in JSS? It's the same difference. You still make money, and we still have to pay out that money to you when you request your withdrawals. Or you can reinvest your money, of course, but a lot of people request withdrawals too, of course. Are you starting to understand? The reason we convert your JSS tripler positions into JSS positions is to get rid of the short-term liabilities, which is the 2% per day. But what we give you is lots and lots of JSS positions, which are a long-term. Long-term is not the right. It's not long-term is not correct at this point, because long-term means right now, because you can get your matrices in JSS to cycle in a few weeks if you just do the right things. But in order to get your matrix to cycle, 4 more people have to buy JSS positions, and that puts another $80 into the system, and from the $80 we have the $60 to pay you. Okay, a little bit complicated for some people, I'm sure. Remember, you don't have to understand a lot of this stuff to be extremely successful. You just have to follow the simple steps. Okay, Gary asked, the system needs to place positions in the best position to help matrices fill. At the moment it seems random. Again, that's the reason, the same answer to the last question. When the restart feed takes place, and that's where these 600,000 positions are going into the system, they're not going into the best spots to fill people's matrices. Some of them are. A smaller percentage is, or smaller percentages of them are, but most of them are not, because we don't want to pay out lots and lots of money right now, because we don't have lots and lots of money, because we just did a restart. A restart takes place because there's not much money in the pot anymore to pay people, because we've been paying out 2% per day, 60% per month. For last time we paid out for 4 or 5 months. Eventually you don't have the money to pay everybody. But instead of just closing the program and say, haha, we made our money, you can see how you get your money, we do what we call the restart, and we give you positions in JSS, and we teach you how to cycle them, and eventually you make even more money in JSS. We give you a lot of JSS positions. If you didn't notice, if you click on latest restart at the top of your JSS tripler page in the member area, you'll be able to see how we calculate how many JSS positions you received, and we tell you how many JSS positions you had before and how many you had after, what are your potential earnings before and what are your potential earnings after, and they're actually greater afterwards. Make a difference. Make a diff has the next question. 75% restart is too high, in your opinion. Okay. It hurts the member's ability to make any real money. 50% max would be better. This is an interesting topic, though, and Frederick is planning on coming up with an update very soon about this. He's been putting a lot of thought into this, and we've been talking about it a little bit, and some of the members have been giving us some good input. Probably there's going to be quite a big difference. The next restart will be calculated quite a bit differently. And I believe the general trend is to cycle less, give preferential treatment in the next restart to the members who haven't made much money. Yeah, the members that have made a lot of money, they can afford to get lots of their positions put over into JSS during the restart. The people who have not made much money, they don't get as many positions converted. But remember, just to say 75%, that's okay. You have to look at the calculation we do. Some people say, remember, a lot of people did not get 75% of their positions converted. Some people only had 25% of their positions converted. It depends on how much money you made up to the restart. Jermaine asks, how often is the restart? Yeah, this is going to be a question that people will be asking for the next few weeks. I don't know if we're going to change that on our website. We've been saying 6 to 18 months. Maybe we should change it to something like 3 to 10 months or something like that. Right now, I would say anywhere between 3 to 10 months. Although I think the next restart is going to take a little longer than this last one did, because we're going to be releasing some new programs. We didn't release any new programs during the last period of time. Maybe that's why the restart took place so quickly. When we release new programs, new streams of income, that greatly increases cash flow, puts a lot of money in the pot, so we don't have to do a restart so quickly. Next question comes from Kathy. What can I say to prospects with deep pockets who want to make money, but I have no history here? You mean they don't have any history? I have no history here. Tell them about all of the old or all of the closed programs. I think one of the JSS Warp websites has the story about what Frederick's been thinking over the last few years, how he's wanted to come out with a program that is indefinitely sustainable, and all of these older, very successful programs that have closed. Tell them about all these other programs that have closed, but our system is specifically designed to be indefinitely sustainable. That's where you have to focus on. That's what you have to focus on, I think. Might be interesting to see what other people in the room would have to say about that. Does everybody know how they get their questions answered? Does everybody know how they get their questions on the screen for me to answer? I think some of the moderators here are contacting the members that say they have a question. I guess you can click on I have a question or something, and then the moderators are contacting you and asking what your question is. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but if you're new and you don't understand why you can't type anything in the room, then maybe we need to tell people that. Maybe everybody knows that except me. Truly successful asks the next question. I'm very happy with JBP and with the earnings. Will this be like Easy Chair Club will be shut down, closed? What is the difference between JBP and ECC? ECC is a short name for Easy Chair Club. It was an organization that I ran back in, I guess, 2003, 2004 were the big years. The programs that I ran were not indefinitely sustainable. They were not even well thought out. They were copycats of other programs with a little bit of enhancements. They were very popular for one reason or another, or for lots of reasons, because the program was run pretty well, I guess, but they did not have an indefinitely sustainable concept. So they were closed. They had to be closed, and for other reasons too, because of legal reasons. The attorneys involved in those projects said, Carl, get out of that business because it's very risky. Your program is eventually going to go bottoms up, and you don't have a plan. Get out of it now before it gets too late. That's the short story of 2003 and 2004, which started what we call the doubler craze, where everybody can double their money within a few days. Since then, there were many copycats, but then since then, they've kind of gone away. Although I saw one the other day that was launched. Those are the old days. And then we had, after that, I guess we had the surfing programs, the big surfing websites, very similar to what we're doing in JSS Tripler, actually, where you have to surf other people's websites, and it's a revenue sharing program. But they also had the same fate. All these programs that paid out lots of money had the same fate. Frederick Mann knows these programs inside and out. He's joined hundreds of them, made money in lots of them too, lost money in some of them, obviously. And now he has his own system, but this system is specifically designed to be indefinitely sustainable. He's been working on bringing out this system for years. And now it's out. And you have the opportunity of joining it and not losing your money like people have been doing over the last 10 or 15 years on the internet. Somebody has a question. Why am I having so much trouble getting support? My emails are not returned in 12 days since joining. I can't see my income or where to upgrade. Huh. Doesn't sound like a nice experience. We have had quite a backlog in the help desk. We have 7 people working in there. A few weeks ago we only had 3 people working in there. We've had to expand. We have to hire more people. We're probably still looking for 1 or 2 more people just to get everything all caught up. And by the time we get caught up, we'll have another 30 or 50,000 members. So we're going to need more people in the help desk. Bear with us if you can. Sounds like you have some kind of special problem, though. Your emails are not returned. That cannot be. 12 days since joining, we always answer help desk requests or do something. Maybe they were just escalated. Log into your help desk ticket and look what the status is. There should be something in there that will tell you what you have to do next. I can't see my income or where to upgrade. Get your questions answered in this conference room if you can. Or listen to the questions of other people, and that might help you get further too. The help desk is sometimes a little bit slow, and maybe that's the wrong place to get your questions answered. Maybe the first place to get your questions answered is here in this room, and then if they can't help you, then go to the help desk. Maybe that's the way you need to do it. Next question. Carl, is it natural for a person to have 95 positions cycle in a day after only being left with $36 from the restart? I don't understand your question. I think what you're talking about is having 95 positions converted into JSS positions. That's probably what you're talking about, right? That could be. Some people had a lot of positions converted into JSS positions. But in any case, like I said, your account was, and everybody's account was calculated the same exact way. We only use one calculation for everybody. Benito has the next question. Can you explain restart earnings, please? I don't understand the restart area and pre-placed. The only place we use the name pre-placed is in the JSS Tripler member area, and the pre-placed ones are the ones that are waiting to go over into JSS. So that's the answer to that question. The restart earnings, it's too difficult to explain. We could open up a special area, a special conference room just for that. We don't do that. Maybe we will in the future. We could explain the restart to you for hours and you still wouldn't understand it, so we just don't do it. We give you some basic information about how we decide what happens during a restart, but we don't give you all the details anyway, so I'm not sure if going into a lot of detail about how we calculated your JSS positions, how many JSS positions you get, how much cash you get. I'm not sure if it will really help you that much anyway. Don't use that as an excuse to hold you back from success, though. Don't use the restart as an excuse not to have success with this program. Don't do it. It's going to hold you back from a lot of success. We've had people that were involved in the last restart. They sprung back. They built up their JSS tripler accounts back up nicely. They've made all kinds of money since then. In the end, they've made all kinds of money. That's what you need to do. Don't use the restart as an excuse not to move forward and do what you need to do to make money in this program. Angela has the next question. What is the point of having 500 to 1,000 empty matrices? Let's say you have 500 matrices. That's $3,000. That's $3,000. $3,000 to $6,000 you're talking about. That's money in the bank. What's the point of it? That's your money. And all you have to do is get those matrices to cycle and you will receive that money. And it's our way to make this program indefinitely sustainable, and it works. That's why we do it. Next part of her question, why can't we afford to pay level 1 placements and premiums for all? Well, if you can afford to, go ahead. Go ahead and buy as many level 1 placements and premiums for all if you can do it. If you don't have the money, we give you a loan after 30 days. We give you 30 days to find the money yourself. Otherwise, we give you a loan to buy those placements after 30 days. That helps a lot of people, I'm sure. We don't give you money for the premiums, but it could be that your upgrade or your downline, your upline or your downline buys the premiums, the premium upgrades. I buy premium upgrades all the time. As soon as I see that one of my downlines in level 2 bought a placement, I generally upgrade to premium because it's an easy way for me to get my matrix to cycle. Cindy has the next question in the room. Is there any chance a restart can happen before the next 75 days? I highly doubt it, but I don't know. Gary asks the next question. System needs to be place positions in the best position to help matrices fill. At the moment it seems random. I already answered that question. The restart purposely does not cycle very many positions because the money is all gone, folks. We didn't close the program. We gave you positions in JSS, and all you have to do now is get your 6 spots to fill, and you'll get your $60 for every position that we gave you. That's the reason we do a restart, is because we don't have the money anymore to pay 2% per day on all the active positions in the system. So we convert the active positions in the system, or lots of them. For some people, 75% of their active positions, we convert them into JSS positions, so it gives us time to pay. But you don't lose any money. You simply have to you simply have to get your money from the JSS system. And we teach you how to do it. I say this again and again and again. But remember, people do not do what they need to do to be successful. In JSS, if you have JSS positions, you have to do the right things. Otherwise, your matrices will sit there for months and months, sometimes over a year. You have to buy placements and placement upgrades to get your matrices to cycle, or you have to sponsor people who buy JSS positions. Mandy has the next question. Did you say the next restart might be in 60 days? No, I did not. How is it possible to profit then? Normally a restart is going to be 4 to 10 months. If it was our way, if we could do it, and we're going to try to do it the best we can, every single time period, we're going to try to get the restart to happen, to increase the time between restarts as much as we can. Believe us, we do not like to do restarts. We also have some other plans to restart maybe some of the positions throughout the program, which would greatly decrease the need for a general restart, a restart for all positions like we just did. So look for that to be happening between now and the next restart. That's going to help us out. That's fairly definite information, otherwise I wouldn't have told you that. Frederick and I talked about it, but it's actually not common knowledge yet. But it's a very good idea, and unless we come up with a better idea, that's probably one of the things we'll be doing to increase the time between restarts. Don't get all worried about, don't use the excuse that a restart could happen not to move forward and do something. Buy JSS triplet positions, find other people who buy JSS triplet positions. Everybody makes money in JSS. If you get JSS positions, don't worry, everybody makes money in JSS. It just might take a little bit of time depending on how proficient you are at cycling your JSS positions. We have people in the system, they are very aggressively cycling their JSS positions. They're cycling JSS positions like crazy because they're buying all kinds of placements and placement upgrades. They're talking to their downlines, uplines, and encouraging them to do something. They're making deals with their uplines and downlines. You buy the placement, I'll buy the premium upgrade. We're going to be putting a lot more time into JSS as time goes on also. As I said earlier, we're actually going to be hiring 1 or 2 people who will look at your accounts to tell you what you can do to cycle your JSS position. Does everybody realize we have over 6,000 or 7,000 people, might be over 8,000 by now, positions in the system that only need 1 more spot to fill so that the sponsor gets a $60 rebate. All they have to do is spend $5 or $10 on a placement or a placement and an upgrade, and they'll get a $60 rebate. If you're sitting at a table with somebody on the other side of the table, and they've got $60 to give you, would you give them $5 to get that $60? Of course you would. There are thousands. There are over 7,000 positions. Could be even more, might be even 8,000, over 8,000 positions right now. I can tell you how much it is right now. I did open that statistical page, like I told you. Over 8,000 positions in the system right now that only need 1 more spot to fill in order for somebody to get a $60 rebate. That's how people are not using the JSS system like they should be. They need to buy. You need to look at your matrices, sort by almost full matrices on top, and look at the matrices at the very top. It could be that you have 1 or 2, or maybe 10 positions at the very top that aren't cycling because you don't spend $5 or $10 to get them to cycle. Okay. Joe has the next question. How do I buy placements and upgrades for the restart generated matrices if my earnings have dropped to $25? Yeah, I agree. You're going to have to use your daily earnings for a little while to get your JSS matrices to cycle. It's just a temporary situation that you have. We just did a restart. If you just had all kinds of positions converted from JSS triplet positions over into JSS positions, don't worry, a lot of other people had the same situation you did. It might take you a little bit of time now to cycle some of your JSS positions, and you might want to aggressively cycle your JSS positions as quickly as you can, even if you don't make much profit, because once you get those $60 payments from the rebates, you can use those to build your JSS triplet positions back up to where they need to be so you can get your 2% earnings every day, again, like you were accustomed to. And as I said before, the next restart is probably not going to be quite so devastating for some of our members. We're improving the program all the time. By the next restart, hopefully we have it even better than this last restart. Another thing, I didn't say that yet today, I don't think. Yes, there's a general shock effect when a restart happens. But in a few days, you'll find everybody's extremely happy again. Nobody lost any money. You got your JSS positions. We keep right on moving. We keep right on paying the 2% per day. The amount of people who are funding their JSS accounts and buying JSS positions grows enormously. There's a lot of trust in our program. We have built a lot of credibility over the last few months. We're extremely strong. Use that to your advantage. You're in a program, you're at the right place. You're in a very, very powerful program. Alfred asks the next question. Will any of the restart matrices end up in existing matrices? Yes, but a fairly small percentage. Herding asks, It hurts to hear that you are doing so well and so many members have had their earnings cut to a few dollars. Many cannot afford to buy premiums. Yeah, I've heard that a few times. If you want to be one of the people who make lots and lots of money, even though there's a restart happening all the time, if a restart happened every month, I'd still make thousands of dollars a week. Just the way the program works. If you want to make thousands a week, you're going to have to tell lots of people about the program maybe. You might only have to tell one person. If you tell one person and they start buying 500 positions per day, that's going to make you $3,500 a week. Do the math. Plus more, because whenever they get their JSS positions, you're going to get $5 every time one of them cycles. And question from Stacy. In recording this, do you need me to send the conference directly to Ann or Patrick? You can send it to Patrick if you want to, Stacy. Stacy has been recording some or all of these conferences. I'm not sure exactly. We don't have that whole system worked out, but we're going to be posting more and more conference calls for you to listen to. A lot of it's going to be the same information, so try not to get bored. And sometimes it's nice to listen to things 3 or 4 or 10 times before it really sinks in. The idea, of course, of the conference calls being recorded is to reach the people that don't come in this room here. We only have 300 people in this room right now. We had 3,700 people sign up yesterday. Where is everybody? Maybe a lot of people would just like to listen to the conference calls in the member area and not come in. Jan has the next question. Why take 200 triplers that were 5 days young and leaving 200 that are 50 days old? That's the calculation, Jan. We have to convert enough positions so that we can continue to operate. If we don't convert enough positions, we'll have to have a restart again in a week or in a month. If we convert enough positions, then we can prolong the time between restarts. We can increase the time between restarts, and hopefully we don't need to do a restart for 6 months or hopefully even longer. Jan asked the next question. Nope, I already answered that one. Stacy has a question. I've been selling my JSS withdrawal earnings from Tripler to new referrals to fund their accounts. Could Fred send us some alert pay funds directly for a fee? If you have a suggestion how we can improve the program, let us know. I'm not sure if we... All you need to do is just send your referrals money to their alert pay accounts. That's what I've done in the past. And how are you going to keep them from withdrawing that money to their account and not buying tripler positions? There's a little bit of trust factor there. We already have that. Actually, we already have the situation taken care of, I think. We give everybody $10 in the pay it forward system. I used to send my referrals $10 to get their first JSS triplet position bought. I don't have to do that anymore because of the pay it forward system. I think that's an old question that we don't really need to address anymore. But if you have a good suggestion, let us know. Some of the best suggestions come from the membership. Dawn has the next question. Instead of taking 75% of positions from people who made a lot of money, why not take a lesser percent from people who never withdrew money? Okay, and instead just keep on reinvesting. You can do both things, right, Dawn? You can take people from the people take money from the people who made a lot of money, or take positions, and you can take lesser percent from people who never withdrew money instead of just kept on reinvesting. In any case, there's lots of ways we can do it. We have some other ways too that we thought up, and we have some members that are actively coaching us on what we can do. Most of the time don't really understand how we're doing the system, but sometimes they do, and every once in a while a really good suggestion comes out, and of course we implement it if we can. Mitch asks the next question, Carl, why not do a small restart on the last day of each month? Yeah, we're thinking of doing something like that. In other words, 10% triple positions to JSS. Exactly, see? We were thinking of doing something like that. Whether or not that is exactly what we're going to do by the time we get things completed, I don't know, but that's the topic in discussion. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Leo asks the next question. Is it possible to change the email for support saying your position is cycled to triple has matured? Yes. Good idea. We've got that on our list of things to do. Make a difference has a question. When you say people who have made a lot of money will be affected by the next restart, does that mean folks who are compounding but not yet withdrawing? It depends. We don't know exactly what we're going to do. Remember, we're trying our best. And maybe in the last restart we didn't do our best. Maybe we should have took a little more time and done it a little bit better. But we are doing our best to keep as many members as possible successful / happy. We have to do that, obviously, otherwise everyone's just going to say, we're getting out of here, take our money out and go somewhere else. Right now, if you take your money out and go somewhere else, you don't really have any place to go. So we don't encourage you to do that, but you just take your money out and stop participating on the internet, I guess. That might be the best solution for some people. But we're going to be improving the system as much as we can, as fast as we can. Ryder has the next question. When is VPL and that super premium upgrade coming? Should be awesome, yeah. Don't you like the super premium upgrade? Super premium. We had a better name for that. Platinum upgrade. How about platinum upgrade? I don't know when they are. When Frederick tells us to do it, we'll do it. We're doing a lot of other things too. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of big plans. Diff asked when he says people who have made a lot of money will be affected by the next restart. I already answered that question. Sorry. Gordon, going to yeah, what is the rationale of getting the younger triples instead of the older ones? Yeah, I already answered that. Questions are getting redundant here, aren't they? Trying to look for the next non-redundant question. Some of these questions I've answered a few times. Al says, restart is making it 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. If that's what you think. If the conversion happened to be between matrices, how can we get ahead? We're taking a look at the restart situation. Maybe we can improve that. I don't otherwise know the answer to your question. Do not let that keep you from being successful, though. If you have hundreds of JSS positions, you should be extremely happy. That's like money in the bank. All you have to do is get them to cycle. Each position is worth $60. If it costs you $20 or even $30 to get $60, that's doubling your money. Can't do that anywhere else effectively and consistently on the internet. You can't double your money for sure on the internet anywhere other than in JSS. Emily asks, if everyone's matrices cycle too fast, would that become a liability too? Actually not. JSS is never a liability. Every time a JSS position cycles, the company receives $12.50. Whenever placements and placement upgrades are bought, that money goes to the company. And obviously the the member who gets us positions to cycle and the member sponsor and sponsors, they get money also. It's a win. JSS is a win-win situation for everybody. JMO asks the next question. Is it possible to put a search with numbers to bring and locate straight away JSS position? Yes, it's possible. When are we going to do it? I don't know. Robin asked the next question. When is the restart going to happen? I don't know. Would there be a restart in the next 75 days? I don't know, but probably not. When are we going to get our JSS money from the restart? Can we buy more? Oh, she has a lot of questions. JSS money you'll get after you cycle your JSS positions. JSS positions are going into the system as we speak. They'll all be in within the next week or two. O'Healy asks, will faster cycling of the JSS positions help prolong a restart? Faster cycling of JSS positions help prolong a restart? Maybe, I guess, because it generates the company money, but it's not that much money, right? Thomas has the next question. Will the restart computer fill only premium positions? Restart. Or will the computer fill positions that have not been purchased and upgraded to premium? It will fill spots that have not been purchased and upgraded to premium. It will fill any spots. It doesn't care whether or not a premium or a normal placement or a placement upgrade has been purchased or not. The restart is simply a way to put lots and lots of positions into JSS and less positions in JSS tripler. But we don't want to cycle too many people, so we don't cycle very many people. Chris asks, when can we get the Fill Now button working in the JSS matrix? That would be nice to have, I think. Should we do that first or do the platinum placements? That would be my question to you. From JC Wisdom is the next question. Telco, thank you for answering my Ponzi. You like the answer? Like my answer? Yeah, I think I have a good answer there. If everybody knew how to answer that question better, it would help, I think. Because even if your prospects don't say Ponzi, they might still be thinking it. Sunil says, why don't you start filling matrices based on priority? We fill matrices based on when placements were bought. Snoop doesn't like. What if we told you, Snoop, that the platinum upgrades only cost $2.50 more? How about that? Don't you think that would be good? So they don't cost $5 a piece; they cost $7.50 a piece. Cost you $2.50 more, and you get your platinum placements filled within 2 days, maybe. Would that be good? I think it would. Carolyn ask the next question. Incidentally, Snoop will probably have a big say in what we do in JSS. He's our JSS expert, actually. Probably better than me. Carolyn asked the next question. Carl, would you buy that one more spot in the matrix if you already bought 2 or 3 spots? If I got my $60, yes. Yes. Remember, somebody's sitting on the edge of the on the other side of the table, and they got $60 in their hand. You'll get it if you spend another $5 or $10. Is it worth it to you? Sure it is. It frees up $60, and you can use that $60 to buy JSS tripler positions or to go out to dinner. If you want to, you can wait for your expiring JSS triplet positions to fill that spot. Yes, you can, but it could take weeks, right? Mark asked the next question. How do you see the $10 free affecting the program? It's bringing a, it's bringing a lot of tire kickers. I used to tell Frederick, I said, Frederick, we need to bring in more people in the program. He used to say, no, when they're ready to join, and they've said they're going to be ready to join, then we'll let them in the door. And we'll let them join the program, and when they say they're going to spend the money, we'll let them in and give them a spot, and then most of the time they'll buy. And I said, Frederick, you can't do that. What if everybody had to stand in front of Walmart and they weren't not allowed in unless they said they were going to buy something? And they had to sign a piece of paper and say, I'm going to buy something when I get in there, and then you let them in. You can't do it that way, right? What do? We give people $10 just to come in the door. Works a lot better, don't you think? We even give $10 just to get people in the door. We pay people to come into the store. And we know they're normally going to spend it, so we just give it to them. Pretty cool, huh? The $10 pay it forward system is affecting the program extremely well. As I said, we've gone up from 1,200 new people coming in to visit the store to over 4,000 people a day. And a lot of those people, of course, are buying more and more positions after they see how the system works. M. Moore asks the next question. Can we use JSS tripler money, which is already earned, to pay for JSS matrix positions and upgrades? Yes. If you have JSS tripler money, then you just withdraw that over to JSS. I think it's called, the buttons on under financial, it's called proceed to transfer funds, I think. And then that gets your money over to JSS, and then you can spend it over there on placements and placement upgrades. And we got our moderators answering the questions here. Thanks very much, you guys. Remember, the moderators are not just moderators, they're experts. They don't know everything, but they can fool you pretty well. They're getting pretty smart. In some ways, they're probably a lot smarter than I am, because they answer the same questions every single day, 50 times a day, or 100 times a day, maybe. Let's see what the next question is. Icon asks, 4 positions at $40, and matrix for 2 spots have to pay back 20. Total 60. Yeah, if you buy too many placements, you're not going to make a profit. That is true. You have to look at your matrix and see how much you spent already. And even if you've already spent lots of money, it's still a good idea to spend another $10 or $20, because then you get your $60 out, right? You free up your $60 so you can use it for other things, like advertising or buying JSS tripler positions, or buying other JSS positions if you like JSS positions. Looking for the next question. Looks like we're about caught up here. Angela has another question. Will the 8% withdrawal fee in alert pay be reduced anytime in the future? I think it will, Angela. That's a good question. I think it will. Once we have people trained to send their money to other payment processors like Liberty Reserve and Solid Trust Pay, and now we have Perfect Money, as soon as we get people regularly transferring their money there instead of alert pay, then we can release the 8%. Yes. The 8% is not because we want to make money from you. The 8% is the only way we can figure out to discourage you from withdrawing all your money to alert pay. We can't have millions of dollars coming in to the program with a Liberty Reserve and Solid Trust Pay and tens of millions going out with Alert Pay. That doesn't work, right? Tank asks the next question. Carl, we are not earning enough to buy premiums now. Premium costs only $5, right? How to get those cycled? Just start small. Cycle one JSS position. Then you'll have $60. Then you can use that $60 to cycle another 3 or 4 positions maybe. See what I mean? Mark asks the next question. There are people who don't buy triplers and they just lift all referral commissions. Yeah, I know some people like that. If commissions were paid in the form of triplers instead of cash, I see this is increasing longevity. I don't know. Mark, it might do it a little bit, but not a lot. It might increase the longevity a little bit, but not a lot, because if you have people compounding, if you just keep paying out 2% for all these positions, eventually you have to restart. You can't prevent it. You can't fight the restart. It's got to happen. Yes, we can do significant things to increase the time between restarts, and I think the general consensus is we need to come up with new money-making programs like VPL, for example. VPL is supposed to come out and be much, much bigger than JSS Tripler, which is hard to believe, but that's what Frederick thinks. Jimmy asks the next question. How many members are not affected by restart? I don't know the number on that, but anybody that joined JSS Tripler since December 12th. Why aren't all members affected, or are they not? All members were affected other than the people that joined JSS Tripler on December 15th or after. It looks like I'm all caught up with questions. Any last questions tonight? We've been in here for over 2 hours. Probably over an hour answering questions. That's enough for one day, isn't it? The next time I'll be in here will be tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Eastern, in case you want me to answer your questions. All we can do is the best we can. That's all we ask for if you're thinking of working at Just Been Paid, the only thing we ask is that you do the best job you can. Nobody's perfect. The other day I said something really stupid in this room. I'm not going to repeat it now. Sometimes to make a point you have to say things you probably shouldn't be saying, but I did, and some people didn't like it. I'm sure our moderators make some strange remarks in here too, but we just do the best we can, and that's all that we ask you to do. If you want to work at Just Been Paid, just do the best you can. If you're a little bit passionate about helping members be successful, then we want you to help us out. Jennifer, it looks like she has another question. Carl, would it help to cycle matrices faster if each member were given a $20 loan to purchase spots 1 and 2 for their matrices, and when they cycle you only receive $40? So we give them $20 to buy placements and placement upgrades. Nope. That's not a good idea because that creates a Ponzi scheme. That creates a situation where the first people to get their JSS positions are the first people to cycle their positions, and we build a huge organization, 2 people under 2 people under 2 people under 2 people, and eventually it just stalls. I don't think we want to do that. That's the reason we don't do that kind of stuff. Okay. Is everybody all set for tonight? Can we put a cap on compounding? Thanks, Robin. I think we talked about that too. We might do something like that too. I gotta go. I have to wake up in about 6 hours, and I still have to work for 2 or 3 hours tonight before I'm allowed to go to bed, so I need to go. Thanks everybody for being here this evening. I hope you have lots and lots of success with Just Been Paid. Hope to see you back again soon. Thanks everybody. Good night.